Hey homeschoolers, I'm Melissa Webb, former full-time classroom teacher and homeschool mom turned full-time business CEO. I am determined and dedicated to give you sound, educational, practical tips and advice, at the same time making sure that you're enjoying the family journey that you are on. So if you are looking for a place to be encouraged and inspired, you have found the perfect podcast. Homeschooling is a work of heart, is truly the perfect place to start. So welcome. Let's jump in. Hello, homeschoolers. I hope you are having a dynamite day. Yes, I'm going to probably be a little on the punny side today. If you saw this episode's title, TNT, you'll completely understand why. I will tell you something dynamite that's happening for me right now in present day and time. There is a wonderful company, homeschool.com. You may have used some of their resources in the past. If not, go check them out. Follow them on Instagram. They even have a podcast. They're always giving great resources. And every summer, they hold a back to school homeschool curriculum awards contest. And if some publication is fortunate enough to be nominated, then they do this week-long vote. And we were nominated. One of our programs, Wow Writers Clubhouse, was nominated. And so now I am asking everybody to please vote for our publication. But I will tell you, we are just a tiny little drop of water in a vast ocean of professional publications. I mean, we're up against the big names. So while I don't expect to hit the top 3, that will likely be IEW and Time for Learning and Brave Writer, some of the bigger companies that are out there. I would love to make the top 20. I think that would be fabulous. What we do have that those other big companies may not, we have a loyal set of supporters and listeners and encouragers. So I just think that alone is going to move the needle, and we're going to have those people at homeschool.com saying, wow, look at how many people are showing up for this program. So I'll link it in the show notes if you'd like to be part of that. I do want to talk to you, though, about a dynamite topic, TNT. I actually have some dynamite practices that are going to take no talent but lead to bigger success in your life. Now, you may be thinking of the literal dynamite TNT, the trinitrotoluene or something like that, that explosive chemical compound, but that is not the TNT that I want to talk about today. Our TNT today is an acronym, and it stands for Takes No Talent. And I heard this acronym last week, but I found myself thinking back to it many times. Basically, TNT means that we don't have to be experts or naturally gifted to be super successful, efficient, high-level achieving people. And I started to realize all the habits that I do that are TNT habits, they take no talent, but I show up. And I show up consistently. And we can be all of those things, successful, efficient, and high-level achievers. We just need to focus on the TNT parts of our life that will take us there. So let's get into it. I will give you a little bit of background because I always like to credit where concepts originated. And this concept of TNT goes back to a football coach here in the United States. He was a college football coach. His name was Lou Holtz. He may still be living. I know I just made it sound like he's gone. He could be in his 80s. That's very possible. Anyway, he started to notice some things. Here he had college football players. They were all amazing. I mean, they made it to the collegiate level of this sport. So they were all very, very good. But even amongst the very good ones, certain tendencies stood out that made them shine even more so. As he noticed what those little things were, he realized these actually are things that take no talent. It took no football talent to show up an hour early for practice to make sure you had all of your things, or to the bus before it left for an out-of-town game. It took no talent to meticulously hang up your uniform versus throwing it on the locker room floor. And as he started to notice that, he shared it with his athletes. And he said, all of you are here because you're good at your sport. But if you want to up level, I want to talk to you about the TNT you need to add to your life. And that's how it started. So nowadays, it is a concept used beyond that. It's still used in sports, absolutely. But a lot of leadership trainings use it as well. Because what it does is it highlights effort-based success factors versus talent-based success factors. I think the message is really quite simple. Some of the most impactful habits that we can build will require zero talent, but will help us produce amazing results. And I'm not talking just about in our own lives. Sure, I want that for my own life, but do you know who else I want that for? My children. I know you want that for your children. So let's just talk a little bit more about it. It does mean that success is not merely about IQ levels, personal backgrounds, natural abilities. What success is about is showing up with intention and consistency and a really strong character. And these are all choices that are accessible to everyone every single day. Are you wishing that I would give you some examples? Are you like, come on, let's hear some examples. I want to know what you're talking about. Well, I'm going to give you some of the TNT traits that I jotted down, but I think there are so many. I specifically was thinking parent and children and homeschooling environment, but grab your journal and spend some time. Think about some of the TNT, the takes no talent habits that you could be doing in your own life. And again, remember, they take no talent. They do take intention. They do take consistency. And if you can pull those up, this can be game-changing. And these habits, they will build resilience, character, and confidence, not just in you, but in your children. And the thing that I love about them is that this mindset is going to help everyone set up this lifelong success way of thinking. That could be academically, relationally, emotionally, you name it. The best part is, this is all free. It's available to everyone. You don't even need a curriculum for this. Right now, I know so many of you are getting all the curriculum pieces together for a new semester. This needs no curriculum. All right, so let me give you some of the ones that I think take no talent, but can move the needle in the levels of success anyone will experience. Number one is being on time. That's about respecting whatever routine you're going to set for this upcoming school year. You want to model time management for your children, and you want to teach them how being on time doesn't take talent, but it does take intention. And so if that's something that your family has struggled with, that could be a great focus for the next week or the next month, maybe this whole semester. Here's another one. Showing up prepared. That's a really important one. I have known plenty of teachers who love to just wing it. And I will tell you, they do a pretty darn good job of it. Not me. If I try to wing something, I know I will not fill every moment with as much value as I could have had I planned it out. Will I still show up and do a decent job? I believe, especially with the many years of experience that I have, sure. I can wing things, but it's not going to be as good. You've got a couple of great teachers, and one of them takes the time to prepare ahead of time. Maybe she goes over the lessons the night before or the morning up. Maybe she sets up all of the supplies that she's going to need and puts them where she can easily find them. And the other teacher just comes in and wings it. Both will probably do a great job of teaching, but I stick to the fact that to just review things and set things up doesn't take talent. I think it will offer more value. Here's another one. It doesn't take any talent to finish what you start. So that's an important one. And I've done podcasts on this topic before. I say it's a-okay to quit sometimes. Sometimes you do need to quit things. If I'm reading a book that's 300 pages long and I'm 50 pages in and not loving it, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to spend another 250 pages in a book that I'm not interested in. However, there are other things that we can't quit. You know the difference. This is a good conversation to have with your children and to show them what it looks like to stay the course, even when something's difficult. Another TNT Takes No Talent trait is to stay positive, to speak with hopefulness, to choose encouragement, to hold your tongue when you want to criticize. That doesn't take talent. It does take practice, but it doesn't take a specific talent. It's not a natural ability. However, it really can be a game changer, and not just for us, but also for our children. Another great takes no talent trait would be mustering up enthusiasm. Is that a tough one for you? I really don't think it takes talent to get enthused to do something, to bring some kind of spark to learning, even when it's hard. It may mean having enough energy to revisit a topic, find new pieces of literature or text or videos or something to make things a little more interesting. So it will potentially take more work. But again, that's just work. That's not talent. That's just showing up and being willing to bring some spark to whatever it is that you're learning. Another great TNT trait is learning to listen. And I think of this a lot with children. A lot of the children that I work with, and I don't know if it's just today's generation has a shorter attention span, but I have been teaching for 30 years. And I can tell you children are different today. And I love today's generation. They are so animated and clever and creative and outgoing. And at the same time, they often are in this mindset of, can't we go faster? Do I have to watch the whole 5 minutes of your video, Mrs. Webb? Can't I just skip this? So I think pointing out that learning to listen takes no talent, but it does take patience and effort, but it could be a game changer in up-leveling your skills as a student. It's a good one. Another takes no talent trait that I think is super powerful is paying attention to our body language. I've coached a couple of sports. I've coached one of my son's basketball teams when they were little and a soccer team. And I will tell you, I see children's body language and it speaks volumes. Do you know what I'm talking about? But we can change our body language, how we sit up, how we put our eyes forward, how we show a readiness to learn. Think of how your children are showing up when you say, okay, we're going to do our math now. They may not complain verbally. They may not say something that lets you know they don't want to do it. They could let out a long sigh, but I bet if you looked at their body language, you could notice a few other things. Why not point that out to them? Teach them. It takes no talent to adjust your body language to speak, I'm here to be my best and to do my best. I have a couple more for you. How about this one? A good TNT trait is having a willingness to try. And that could be try the new vegetable on the dinner plate. It could be to try a difficult math problem. It could be to try a more challenging musical piece. But even when a person knows that he or she may likely fail the first 2, 3, 17 times, why not still try? Even if it feels hard or it's uncomfortable. That is a great takes no talent trait. It doesn't take any talent to try and fail, but you showed a willingness. That stands out. It's a great character trait. I also have here the importance of owning our mistakes. That probably falls under responsibility, another great character trait. And if you notice all of these TNTs, these take no talent traits, a lot of them reflect who we are as people, especially my last one here for you today. And that is to choose kindness. Kindness is a choice, and it takes no talent to hold our tongues and instead choose something that is uplifting and kind and loving and encouraging. Now, I am well aware that I have not likely given you any information this week that you didn't really already know. You know character traits important. You know that there are many things that we can do that do not require talent, but when we do them, we show up as a very strong, good, excellent version of ourselves. Okay, maybe I did teach you a new acronym, TNT, but what I really hope that I've given you is some encouragement. I always like to give you a little challenge as well, so why not choose one of the TNT traits that I mentioned, or one that you come up with, either as an adult or to work on with your children, and focus on that for this next week. Talk about it, look for examples of it in your lives. There are just so many things that live outside our control. Some of us do have some natural abilities and natural talents. My mother has the most beautiful singing voice. I do not. I do not have control over my vocal cords the way that she does. So I'm not talking about trying to change the things that you can't change. What I'm talking about is changing the things that you can change. I've talked about this before. There are only 3 kinds of business in this world. There's your business, my business, and God's business. Your business is none of my business. In fact, God's business is none of my business. The only thing that I can control is my business. And that's where my personal success will start. And that takes no talent, just practice and determination. I probably shouldn't use the word just. We know that's not always easy. But I want you to remember, please don't forget, you're already doing this. You keep showing up. You're here. That took no talent. But you know what it says? It says that you are someone who steps up and takes action. So keep it up. Keep going. I know you've got this. Right on. Well, thanks so much for tuning in and listening this week. Hey, if this was something that you found valuable, don't forget you want to subscribe or follow so that every time a new episode is dropped, you'll be the first to know. And hey, before you go, if you are looking to get some of this academic writing under your belt and outsourced so that it's one less thing freeing you up to enjoy more time with your family, hey, you're going to want to head over to writeonweb.com to see what kinds of resources and materials I have available for you. I will look forward to seeing you there, and I will look forward to seeing you here in our next episode. Right on.